because at first I was really kind of bummed because I stayed up last night because I was expecting more from the live stream. That like there was going to be one. Apparently they're breaking up into two live streams per day over the next couple of days, and I don't really like that format. And then when I woke up this morning, it was several hours before the live streams were posted to YouTube. In fact, it wasn't until this evening that I ran across them on YouTube, and that kind of irked me a little bit too. But the thing of it is, if the bulk passenger mechanics was, hey, we can copy and paste just to kind of give an additional variety, but VIP missions and tourism missions do have more interactive mechanics and do provide a different experience in playing the game than just hauling cargo and instead of calling it gold, calling it passengers, then I'm okay with the bulk passenger mechanics. It's one of those things, and it didn't take them a whole lot of time, effort probably to do, but if that was the, big crux moment of, look at what we have, it's like, you just copy, pasted, and changed language, with different verbiage, tied into the background sim. Big whoop-de-doo. Now that being said, again, the biggest features I'm looking forward to is I want to see what that crew lounge is about. It sounds like we're going to start to be able to hire AI crew, at least probably for our fighters, if not maybe other positions on our ships. So multi-crew might kind of start to come with AI first, taking on certain tasks on your ship and flying fighters and stuff like that. And then there's been some hints that your friends will be able to jump into fighters launched from your ship somehow, auto-magically or something like that. So we might see some of the first glimpses of multi-crew sooner rather than later, but again, just taking control of ships, no avatars. And I hope that on the last day that they not only kind of hint the aliens, which I think the cat's out of the bag there, and I think everybody knows what's going on. But I hope that they give us something to end on when it comes to 2.3 and what to expect in that in 2.4. Including time frames, because the announcement of a mid-October launch is going to be interesting. It leads me to believe that Season 2 will not be completed this year, that it will push into 2017. Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. If it's here's some alternate things you can do, but a relatively minor feature compared to other things that are coming, yeah, I think you're right about that. And then they showed off some new station types. Again, I wonder, kind of just, yeah, more variety of stations. Station interiors that make sense to the actions being performed there, such as refineries, extraction, high-tech worlds, things like that. Good to see. Good to see that it's more than a tropical paradise at Weird and everything else. New station types. Also, kind of getting tired of seeing the same 3-4 designs over and over again. The outposts seem to be far more varied, though. But hopefully they'll put all out the ship-launched fighters today. They may wait until Saturday, but I have a feeling that'll be today's live stream or tomorrow, depending on your time zone. I don't know if I'll stay up this morning to watch it. We'll see. Tomorrow's Friday. My Friday work week usually consists of an 11:15 in the morning conference call, and usually by 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'm free for the rest of the day, so we'll see. I've got to run some errands tomorrow for the weekend. Weather permitting, we're going to grill out, and usually I go up and pick up steaks the day of. run a couple of errands. So my deal tonight is I've got 15%, and I found that whenever I load up on a trade run from Sothis, although I have a bounty and 39,000 credit dormant bounty in Federation Unite, yeah, so fun story. I was playing an open, docking at New Home Station there, and some jackwagon in a apparently an unshielded or silent running Mark IV, I guess boosted for the station just as I was coming in the mail slot, bounced off me and died. And I got hammered for it, and actually lost a cutter. Now, it didn't have anything in it, but, you know, life lesson here. Cutter has right of way. It is the biggest ship. The Beluga liner may eventually eclipse it, but for right now, the cutter has right of way. Now, they did have David Braben's little statement, and I watched that separate as a separate video on the YouTube channel this afternoon. And I really can't fault the guy. He is very, very excited about the scientific aspects of this game, and I'm kind of glad that he's taking the path that he's going to do. But I mean, there's also a Space Engine that does many of the same things, just without the game part. And I respect the scientific side of things, but I wish they would put a little bit more focus and emphasis on fleshing out some of the game mechanics in more depth and detail. It's like, you know, yeah, they've poured the foundations, they've built the exterior walls, and some of the interior, all the load-bearing walls. But at some point, they got to start putting drywall into place and a couple coats of paint and some carpet before it's really a home. And some people are like, well, this is just the foundation for something more when passenger missions. I'm like, you know, at some point, you got to stop pouring more foundation for an addition to the house before you know, may want to, again, put in the electrical, the plumbing, and all of the other things that the house is going to need to basically fill it up. And passenger gameplay doesn't do that. That's like adding an additional room. That is, you know, it's like adding an additional bedroom that's an exact copy of an existing bedroom, only your plans are to paint it pink instead of blue. That's kind of how I feel about the passengers at this point in time. So it didn't exactly wow me. As I've usually said, I'm willing to give Elite Dangerous 3 years to get all of that figured out, because if I go back and look at other MMOs that I've played and other games like this that have been in continual development, it generally takes them about 3 years to get everything into place and to really rocking and rolling. The core fundamental mechanics well balanced, understood, and fleshed out, and then to really have enough content to where you're just not doing the same 5 things over and over again. EVE Online was like that. Star Trek Online was like that. World of Warcraft, although I never did play that game. And to me, that 3-year mark is summer of next year, from whenever I was able to first download the beta. And I hold Elite to the same criteria as I do Star Citizen, and that is, I don't care what Greek letters you put in front of a game development stage. If you're charging money in order to access it, you are releasing a product. And they did charge money for alpha and beta access. I did buy it in premium beta. So therefore, in my mind, I've had the product in hand for a little over 2 years at this point, about 2 years and a quarter. So they basically got 3/4 left to really start peeling back those onion layers and creating something that is more in depth and I don't necessarily say more interesting, but certainly more experiences to have. I think that they have the foundation. I think they have the walls. Again, they just need to start putting up plaster, wallboard, and paint and some other things, and maybe move in some furniture, make it look lived in.